Once again, welcome to the Life Solutions presentation. Yeah, this is the new month, so we are gonna talk about procrastination. Work today like you are fighting for your life. Nothing like tomorrow, next week, today. So there is a common question as we talk about this procrastination that we're gonna answer today. That is procrastination the same as being lazy? Once again, it's a new Friday, 2nd of August 2024, and I welcome you to August. It's a new month, and here we come with our first episode of the month as Life Solutions Everyday Secrets for Success. So, as we delve through procrastination, I want us to clearly be attentive and analyze all what will be for said as we delve through this concept. So the question is procrastination the same as being lazy? So let's discuss why procrastination is not the same as being lazy. Procrastination is the active process you choose to do something else instead of the task that you should be doing. And in contrast to laziness, for laziness suggests apathy, inactivity, and unwillingness to act. But procrastination usually involves ignoring an unpleasant but likely more important tasks in favor of those ones that are more enjoyable and easier. But giving into this impasse, you can have a serious consequences. For an example, for instance, even a minor episode of procrastination can make you feel guilty or ashamed. It can lead to reduced productivity and cause a miss out on achieving our goals. So, if we procrastinate over a long period of time, we can become demotivated, and in so doing, can be disillusioned with our work, which can lead to depression, and eventually sometimes you lose your job in extreme cases. So through that, we're gonna push up to our concepts, the main cause for this presentation, and let us talk about how we can stop the procrastination. How can we be how can we self improve our doctrine? So here are the top 5 tips that can help you to stop procrastination. So welcome once again. I welcome you to the Inc platform, the only platform where the Guineans meet and discuss issues. Follow and like for more. So in our tip number 1, we shall look at how you can start small, how you can break that big goal of yours, to I can break that big goal of yours into smaller tasks, two small chunks, and pick one that you can do now, so that you are underway almost there without realizing it. So from that, we also talk about our number two. But before number two, as we talk of breaking in our this previous tip number one, breaking down the task, that large task. For example, you might have programmed yourself, maybe have made your program. Maybe it can be construction, it can be what I've been telling yourself, I have to construct my home, I have to do this, I have to do this. But wherever you get the funds, you really feel that that is too big for you to move in, you feel like you have to invest in something else before you get that. I'm not saying you should not invest, but you are channeling away from what you earlier programmed to do, and of which is of big interest than what you are channeling into. It can be that business that will take your money, which you have not learned, which you have not even invested your time before you have thought of it, because you have been thinking about what constructing. So in so doing, by chopping down that large task into small chunks, you may choose maybe to first deal with bricks, and it can be shower, then you eventually pay for cements, and before you realize that you are progressing, your meaning is on labor. So you should always break down your tasks, those big tasks, into smaller chunks that you can even work on without even realizing that you are progressing. Now, tip number two, we are talking at we shall talk about making a plan, putting time and dates on the key tasks. You have to make a list, and then you give it time. You say this will be done in this specific time, and it might have gone on this date, maybe to the other date. You give it time and all dates, so that you know what to concentrate on and when. That it could that scorecard or that list should be a guide of you, to tell you that on this particular date, at this particular time, you are supposed to do ABCD. And this brings us to our tip number three, that talks about finishing things. It's not a matter of giving it time and leaving it to go. Once you give it time, you have to make sure that you also complete what you have planned to complete, what you have already given time. You have to finish things. When you spot a task that is nearly done, put extra effort into getting it over the line. It can be late evening, but you really have had a long day, and I'm telling you, you are just the remaining work just requires you maybe 4 to 7 minutes, and you really want to leave that work as a backlog. You have already concentrated in the whole day. Why don't you push extra that man and have those 2 minutes spent on that work and get that particular task finished? You should not be tempted to leave lots of jobs almost finished. When you are almost finishing it and you leave it, that's when you will eventually divert from it and leaving it unattended, and hence procrastinating. You get it? So As we discuss this number 3, you should get that image from our number 1, where we talked about cutting it small. After cutting it small, cutting those large tasks into smaller chunks, then you give them time and in all dates. No, this one should be done within this specific time. You should not limit yourself. You should not limit yourself. Give it normal time. You should not try yourself to fail. Don't give it too much and don't give it too little. You give it that time. Then after planning and giving it time or date, finish things. Don't leave things unfinished hence when whilst they are almost accomplished. Have them to dot, finish them. Then we get to our number 4 that will tell you how to deal with the distractions. Dealing with the distractions, it is not a very small thing, but if you don't give it time, it will be a very big thing. Dealing with you have to deal with the distractions. What can you change about your environment to improve your focus? If you are attending to something or if you are planning something, what does it need you? Or what can you change that you really feel it's distracting you and it has been causing you to run away from your particular tasks and hence procrastinating? So in so doing, you should have to be in line of scanning the environment and sensing that has been my weakness and this is what has been. If it is a phone, put it off. If it is, friends, just first give them a part, give them some space and have your task done first. The rest will bring themselves. So what needs to be put out of reach until this task is done is what distracts you most. If you have already scanned and verified that this particular answer here makes me not concentrate on whatever I plan. Actually, if it is a friend and it has consisted, it is better leave him. If you want to get out of that nature of you yourself procrastinating or leaving what you are supposed to do and going for something looks enjoyable but less impactful onto your life. So as we move to our tip number 5, and of which is the last tip, you should be in hand of dealing with all these 4 first tips. Starting with small by breaking tasks into smaller, then you deal with one at a time and plan it by giving it time and date. Then you making sure that things are finished before you move to the next. Then after that, then you deal with your distractions. So in our number 5, this is where we shall discuss on how to be kind to yourself. These things are all rotating on almost one thing. Once you are done with everything, you have to be kind to yourself. No one ever gets to the end of their to-do lists if they are not kind of themselves. Do you can you do your best to meet the deadlines and celebrate your successes? Not successes of this big the awesome task. I mean successes of these small chunks that you did break from the main course, main task after breaking it. Do you do your best to meet your deadlines? If you have said, this first chunk I have to complete with this, do you do your best? Does it force you to extend all your energies to have it met before that deadline. And once you are done with it, always celebrate your successes, as if you have completed the whole task before you move to another one. That will make you more motivated. But you should be also realistic. And you will always have more to do than there, having more to do than the days in the day. Sorry, hours in a day. After being so realistic and thinking that you have to meet, making your mind that you have to meet the deadlines, and on top of it, and to celebrate the success, this will motivate you, and you'll feel like you have more to do than those 24 hours to have everything complete. So that was the presentation of our today, our first presentation in this August. So you should analyze through these tips, and eventually what I expect, you'll have a stop on procrastination. And now wow, thank you for have been following, and thank you for having ventured that little time that you have throughout this presentation. And I really urge you to share and give it a like. Can also comment. We meet again next Friday, same place, same time. I really want to say bye to you at in my voice. You've been with Tarema Dennis. They are awesome by names. Tarema Dennis by names, and I'm the author of this platform. So I'm really so grateful for having you today and having discussed all this this concept of procrastination. And I really look forward also to seeing you change, having you impacted, and making it in new life. You are really doing wonders for us, and I'm telling you, we shall always be by your side, and have you well versed with everything that you really require to change your everyday everyday today life. And as life solutions, everyday secrets for success. We really appreciate for your time, and say really thank you.